Hi, can I speak with Sarah?
This is she. Is this
Hey,
Ricardo?
Sarah, how's it going? Yes, ma'am.
I'm good. I put together a weekly job listing, and I always give you guys a shout out. So I wanted to ask from a professional standpoint why somebody's resume would be bypassed, or they feel like, I've applied for all these different positions. I'm not getting any callbacks. What are your best tips for that?
Well, maybe looking for synonyms for like descriptive words. Like, let's say, for example, you have experience with customers, right? And you want to get that point across that you have that customer experience background. So instead of saying something like, I help customers, you could elaborate, provide customer service in an efficient manner, asking the customer direct questions like what they need help with. But another thing also is kind of tough with resumes, and I think this is probably a little bit better material, would be to look at the job description, the job posting that they're looking at, and then trying to make their resume reflect that job posting. That would probably be the most valuable tip, because sometimes we make resumes and it's a general resume, right? It just talks generally about your work experience. But
Right.
if you're applying for a specific position that requires a little bit more specific detail, then cater your resume to that job posting. Because number one, you're satisfying the requirements and the job description that's posted. So your resume and the job posting reflect each other, which can increase your chances, because that would lead the employer to have their questions answered. Does this person have, are they familiar with utilizing Microsoft Excel? You see what I'm saying? So if you
Yes.
post that on your resume, if you share that information on your resume, as long as it's accurate and you're being honest with
Right.
what you're posting, with what you're sharing, your chances are increased, because number one, they're not having to do follow-up questions or doubt, whether this candidate is qualified for that position.
What about cover letters? Are we still doing those?
So it depends. Sometimes the employer will ask, a cover letter is required to submit the application. Like, let's say somebody's doing it online, that might be a required field. But for that one, it's trying to find a concise message. So it's really easy to kind of get lost. What do I say in a cover letter? And a cover letter is a chance to allow you to be a little bit more personalized, right? Because with the resume, you're kind of listing your experience, your skills, and with the cover letter, you get to speak a little bit more about kind of yourself. Let's say, for example, you're doing something where you're dealing with customers. For example, let's say you are applying for a position and you're serving either, people who are elderly, or you're serving people who might have a language barrier. Then your cover letter is a great chance to kind of mention the sentiment behind why you are motivated to serve this population, to serve this target customer base.
Anything else for somebody that's starting out for a very first job or hasn't been in the market besides coming to you?
So I would say a really good resource that's free and that's accessible to almost everybody. It kind of just depends on your level of comfort with technology. Is look at YouTube videos. If you don't feel comfortable, if maybe going and asking somebody like WorkSource, or maybe even asking, the local librarian for help, you can look up YouTube videos on what you had asked about, maybe looking up for a resume, looking up for a cover letter, and also interview skills. Because sometimes, especially right now with us being kind of socially distancing, where, in my opinion, I feel like we're lacking kind of the opportunity to practice speaking with people. So maybe even watching YouTube videos, and something as simple as, maintaining eye contact, maintaining an appropriate, confident posture. It's little things like that. Once you're in an interview, that can really help you out. So that way, when you go into the interview, you already kind of have that in mind. You've already practiced that. Okay, maintain good posture, speak at a good volume, make sure you enunciate your words, especially now that we're using masks so often.
I like that. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate you calling.